We welcome you back here inside of Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville. I'm Robby Donahoe, anchoring our coverage from here in Smashville at the 2017 SEC Men's Basketball Tournament. Alabama will be in the semifinal round. They will take on Kentucky coming up Saturday at noon. But Ole Miss will not be joining the Crimson Tide in the semifinal round, as the Rebels were just that close to getting through and moving on to the semifinal round and keeping their hopes alive for an NCAA tournament berth. But that's sort of been the season in a nutshell for Ole Miss. They've been right there on so many different occasions. Obviously, the notable one against Baylor, they were right there in just many different instances where they had a chance to get big-time victories against programs that were inside the RPI top 30 or top 40 and just could not get it done. And once again, that happened Friday night as the Rebels fell by 1 point, 73-72. Had a couple good looks late against Arkansas. A three would have tied it inside the last 10 seconds, but one just would not fall. Andy Kennedy would not fault his team's effort and intensity on the court, and head coach Mike Anderson of Arkansas agreed that Ole Miss didn't necessarily lose the game.
Ole Miss had a much better rhythm, I thought, to the game than we did. And so you could see it played out even to the end. And the game went back and forth, back and forth. So for an opening game for us, we're just glad to get the win. I mean, I don't think Ole Miss lost. I think they just ran out of time.
Hard-fought game. Disappointed, obviously, that we weren't able to advance. Arkansas made the plays down the stretch. We had opportunities. Really proud of our effort. I thought our guys played extremely hard, battled, put ourselves in position. We just couldn't quite make enough plays.
A couple notable stats from this game. Sebastian Saez, 9 points, 17 rebounds. He was 4 for 16 from the field. And Andy Kennedy continued to commend the senior Sebas. He just continued to work inside. Ole Miss had 21 offensive rebounds. 21. Out-rebounded Arkansas, played extremely well throughout the night, had 11 more field goal attempts inside. Terrence Davis nearly had a double-double, 26 points, 9 rebounds. But where the game was won and lost more than likely for Ole Miss was at the free throw line. Coming into this game, Ole Miss actually led the nation in free throws made. On Friday night, 8 for 14 at the line. Arkansas was 20 for 23. So that is a 12-point differential in terms of free throws made between Ole Miss and Arkansas, and the Rebels lost by just 1 point against the Razorbacks. So now Ole Miss is going to turn their attention to the postseason. More than likely, they're not going to be making the NCAA tournament, although they have the perfect resume to be a bubble team. They're in the top 70 in RPI, strength of schedule. They have 2 wins against the RPI top 50. But more than likely not going to get in due to the fact that they just don't have enough quality victories. So now they're going to have to turn their attention to the NIT, and Andy Kennedy thinks that that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I've said this before. It's been a while since we've played in the NIT, and I think it has, I think it has merit. I think sometimes it gets, people look at it like, oh, it's the old days. It's really not. It's difficult to get in the NIT. Last year we went 20-12 and couldn't get in. We won't play in those other tournaments. No disrespect intended, but there's 351 Division I basketball teams. There's 68 go to the NCAA tournament. There's 32 go to the NIT. That's 100 out of 351. My math's not great, but that tells me, you're finishing the top half of college basketball.
And the NIT, not a bad, thing. You can still get to play basketball. That's the positive thing I get out of it. Getting to play in the postseason is a big accomplishment, so it helps out a lot.
So we will wait it out with Ole Miss on Selection Sunday. There's still a slight glimmer of hope that maybe something crazy happens and the selection committee finds Ole Miss worthy of being in the 68-team field for the NCAA tournament. More than likely, you're going to see Ole Miss in the 32-team field of the National Invitational Tournament, which, as you heard from Terrence Davis and Andy Kennedy, is not something to look down or frown upon, because it's still more basketball and it's still another chance for the Rebels to continue to work together as a team going forward into next season. Reporting here inside of Bridgestone Arena for the final time, I'm Robby Donahoe for WCBI Sports.